Hello there, everybody. I'm here with the beautiful Angela Sammut.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's good. As like the last interview, we just thought we'd have a little informal get together and ask, how long ago did you get started in the Jeunesse business?
I will actually be, for me, in October it'll be 2 years.
Okay. Fantastic. So what were you doing before Jeunesse?
Oh gosh, in a nutshell, we previously to this we had cafes for 10 years. My husband and I owned and operated cafes, and we really just had enough of that because of the long hours and hard work and not a huge return on the effort we were putting in. And then I got into party plan, became a manager, got the Tupperware car and Tupperware. I was in Tupperware.
Oh, okay. So you got the car?
I was in Tupperware, yeah, and had all the free trips with that as well, but it was still long hours working weekends. And then Ange, my friend, found this company, Jeunesse, and asked me to go and have a look. And I was just blown away at the first information. I wasn't even looking for something else. So yeah, that's how it all started.
So was it a in-home meeting or a group meeting when the first night that you saw this?
No, it was actually a company meeting that Steve Baker and Brodie Holland were running. First time I'd met them. And we listened to them, and I actually said to Edge, this is too good to be true. They're not telling us everything. There's something missing, but she said she's going to give it a go, and I went, okay, well, I'm going to give it a go too because it sounds great. So that's how it all started, really.
Okay. Yeah. So what we show people is you're obviously going to find people that are receptive to the idea, and you're going to find some people that are, that are stuck in their rut and rotten apples, we call them. So tell us how did you get going? How did you begin?
Well, from that night, and as I said, I went there just to keep a company, not even having any, looking for anything new. But I walked away so excited about what I heard, even though I was still a little sceptical, I have to admit. But I just thought, well, nothing to lose, so I jumped in. I was just excited by what it was, the opportunity it could offer. So I just started talking to everyone, telling everyone, I get a bit excited, everyone knows that, there are people that know me, and I tend to talk a lot to them, and they had to listen to me, in other words, but it was purely from excitement. I probably got to Jade, like the first level.
So just for the new people out there, what's Jade?
Oh, sorry, Jade is when you enrol your first 8 people.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And they were, my first 8 were family and friends. Yeah, that's really how I got to Jade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then, and then I continued to, I could see that this was happening. And I got to Pearl, which was your first 12 sign-ups in, I think, a couple of months I got to it. And that was over the Christmas period. So I joined in October. Then by February the following year, unfortunately, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Mm-hmm. I was still doing Tupperware at the time and still had the car. And I had to have 2 major operations. So I couldn't drive for 8 weeks. Of course, I was, just shattered that I was diagnosed with breast cancer to start with. But once a doctor told me I was going to be okay, it's just a matter of going through the treatment. I decided that, I was going to put that behind me, concentrate on Jeunesse because I still wanted to get to sapphire level, which I won't go into what that is, but that's the next level because I wanted to go on the Noosa sapphire trip, which was happening in May. So I was really pushing for that when I got diagnosed. So, but as I said, I continued on. With my Tupperware business, I handed the car back because it was just way too hard to keep it because it was sales based. And I would, not being able to drive for 8 weeks, and then I had to go undergo chemo for 5 months. But what got me excited, and I realised that this is real, that I went from Pearl status to sapphire status during my chemo treatment. And amazing. I couldn't even drive, and the reason behind that is because we have such a big support team that I could just ring them from home and say, look, this person wants to know about the business, can you go and see them? Or, and it doesn't matter, everyone's here to help everyone because everyone benefits from everyone else as well. So, so that was my story, and I got to go to Noosa. Awesome. Not as a sapphire, unfortunately, because I had to slow down, but Ange took me as her guest that year.
Fantastic.
And I was just hooked. That was it. So, and of course, the next year I qualified and went. Yeah, and now I just want all the free trips because I love to travel. And for free.
Who doesn't?
And for free.
Who doesn't? So we're off to Macau in a couple of weeks.
Off to Macau, and of course we just had Gold Coast, which was awesome. Yeah.
So when you, obviously you've got 3 children.
I have.
What are their ages again?
12, almost 15, and a girl's 15, and another son who's 17.
Okay, because sometimes people say they haven't got time.
Yeah.
And then you see someone who's obviously gone through what you've gone through. You've got a husband, you've had a Tupperware business, and you're building the Jeunesse, and that's quite amazing.
Yeah, it's just, I am busy. I've always been like that though, but if you want something, you'll make time for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even with my kids.
There's someone wants to join.
Even with my kids, going, not that we, we have our meetings once a week, and we might have a launch once a week, and of course I've been on a few trips with Jeunesse, and they say, oh, when are we going to get to go? But I've promised them that Jeunesse is going to pay from what I make from Jeunesse, not Jeunesse is going to pay, and I'm going to take them to Disneyland by 2016. And so when I said that, they sort of said, okay, you go and do what you need to do. But that's what I want. I want to travel more with my kids and get them to experience the world. And this is the sort of business will help me do that, because I'm not tied down to a boss. Don't have to ask for time off. I can do it when I want to do it. Yeah.
So what's one of the things that when you first looked at it, you get bonuses that things that you didn't expect to have happen? What's something that you just...
Oh, for me, the best thing was not having to do, as per my party plan, not having to go out weekends and do parties.
Yeah.
I'm home now on weekends with my children.
Yeah.
That was the biggest draw card for me.
You're really swapping time for money, aren't you, when you're working weekends?
Yeah, so that was a bit, and when you've got children, that's
the key time. That's when they need you for sports.
Yeah, so that's what really drew me, and again, it also still offered the free travel, which I had before, but Yeah.
So what's one of your goals going for, apart from Disneyland, which is obviously going to be a huge moment for you? What are some of the other goals that you've got?
Personal goals?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a big birthday coming up in 2 years, so I'm actually having a girls' trip to New York.
Oh, wow.
So, so I've already got my friends saving, so, but yeah, I'm just going to pay for that with my Jeunesse income, because I plan to be reviewed by Christmas 2014.
Yes.
So, so that's always been a dream of mine, but now I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, so that's one of them, and travel with my kids is my... You need to learn
Sorry,
to turn your
I thought we did. So you can tell this is not scripted.
My biggest thing, though, as I said, is to just travel more with my kids. I really want them to experience the world. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Okay. One of the questions I get asked quite a lot is, what advice would you give to someone who's just brand new, just looked at the business, and we're like everyone, when we join, we have all these, you think about it over and over and over, and that's just the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone just beginning?
Oh, just beginning. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Just, if it sounds okay, just do it. Really, you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, except better skin.
Except better skin, that's right, and a better lifestyle. But it's hard to explain that to a new person at first, the whole new lifestyle. I've always been like that as well. If I think something looks good, I'm going to give it a go, as long as it's, something's not going to cost me thousands of dollars. But and this is so affordable to give it a go. That's the best thing about it.
Yeah.
What have you got to lose?
No.
I tell everyone, that's how I started. I said, well, there's nothing really to lose here, so I'll give it a go, because if it works,
And if it doesn't, you'd soon work it out.
You soon work it out, and but the good thing is it does work.
Yeah, well, of course.
That's the good thing. So, but no, just give it a go. Honestly, there's nothing even to think about. You've got so much support as well. Yeah.
So who are some of the people that you have helped support you? Who are the majors?
As in starting the business?
Yeah, like Angela.
Oh, well, Ange, of course. She dragged me along, as she says now. She goes, aren't you glad I dragged you along to that first meeting? But, anyone, Steve's, always lots of fun.
Yeah.
always lots of fun. And in the start, at the start, it was Ange and I, and then, Nicole and the rest started. But even Lyndon was so approachable at the start. He gave us a lot of advice at the start, and the boys, and now I tend to talk to Angela, because she's just around the corner.
Yeah.
And I've always spoken to her because we've been friends for 15 years. So, yeah, but all the leadership team are just there, you know, to help and yeah.
Yep. And what about your husband? What would he say about the business if he was here today? What would he say?
Oh, he was a bit sceptical at the start as well, but yeah, he's just happy if I'm happy.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
he doesn't really ever stop me doing anything. Not that he could, but
yeah.
but
a very driven lady, obviously.
But yeah, no, he was sceptical at the start, but I think he's now realising that okay, this is happening.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, I think that's pretty much
that's
the
it
tip for today.
Okay.
What would you tell for somebody that's actually another question? You know, some people get into the business and then they might contact a few, and then all of a sudden they lose that passion, like to chase their dream.
Yeah, I was actually just talking about this to a few girls just the other day that are in my team, and one of them said, "Oh, you know, the last 6 months or the last few, I can't remember what her exact words were. You know, I almost wasn't part of the team anymore. You know, it was really, I was down about it." And I said, everyone in this business goes through that stage, including me.
Yeah.
At one point or another.
Yeah.
But I look at it as, well, what's the alternative?
Yeah.
It's always up and down. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not going to throw this in now and go back to 9 to 5.
Oh.
There is no way I will do that. So just
especially
stick it
on a day like today.
On a day like today, that's right. So